Let's move on to your number 4 running back in the 2023 draft class, a guy that near and dear to my heart, my alma mater.
Man, look at that. Sean Tucker, Syracuse, right, number 34. Man, like a little ball of muscle, Sean Tucker. That's what he really is, really. I mean, smaller, really thick, dense, powerful-looking body, right? Almost like a guy we showed up. The name I wrote down originally when I first saw him was a guy we just showed in the graphic a few minutes ago, Doug Barton. Right? Do you remember Doug Barton from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? I think he led the NFL in rushing one year.
The human bowling ball.
Yeah, the human bowling ball. Right. It's a little bit like that. I mean, the change of direction movements, you watch Syracuse right off the bat. I mean, you talk about breaking ankles. This guy can break ankles in serious ways. He's got unbelievable jump cuts, you know, and also hips are really good too. So not only, you know, that's another part of like, you know, sometimes those straight liners, you know, they can't weave and do all that. He can jump cut, make you miss, or be upright and kind of just weave through traffic. Am I explaining that the right way? Mm-hmm. Right? Where he just can kind of lean and be loose as he's kind of running through a straight line but varying off of it a little bit without breaking down or making a sharp cut, right? He can kind of like, hey, I'm off the guard. Hey, there's a receiver downfield. And he just keeps running. He just kind of weaves and bobs. That's what I'm trying to say by that, right? So he is really good. And like I said, the jump cutting is insane. I mean, it's as good as anybody in this draft as far as that department. And then, you know, like the power for his size, the low center of gravity. I mean, it's another thing that just jumps out to you when you go, how many times does he run up into a hole and there's not really anything there? And shit, he pushes it forward for another 3 or 4 yards. So this is not just some space, break your ankles, highlight type runner here. There's a little meat and potatoes of this guy. Runs through a ton of arm tackles, you know, and that's where his quickness comes in too. He didn't always have great blocking up there, so he'd make people miss beyond the line of scrimmage. They'd have an arm around him. He'd pull away, turn around the corner, and all of a sudden it's a 20-yard gain. I mean, he's a really impressive football player. And see, this is why it's guys like this that make the whole market go down, because we're talking about the 4th running back, and you hear how awesome I'm talking about him.
Yeah.
He's a starting NFL running back. And, you know, he's probably not going to go in the top 50 picks of the draft.
Mehmet 305 says, could it be that Sean Tucker from Syracuse, the alma mater of Ahmed, be the next star running back that will burst onto the scene in the right scheme?
Yeah.
So
yeah. He's on the right thought there. I'm with you there. You know, hey, he's got to be on the right team, and we know that.
What team are you thinking?
You know, I don't know if there's any, like, he's going to be able to do it all.
Exactly, yeah. It seems like he's pretty well-rounded.
I don't think there's going to be anything. It's just, you know, can they have enough blockers to just block for him? That's all. That's the scheme we're talking about. The one that blocks for people, right? You know, because, but you're saying it, right? He's got the all-around ability. It's not a guy that I look at and just go, oh, he's only third down, right? Or he's only a pass-catching back or whatever like that. No, this is more to that. And then, you know, like I told you, the acceleration, I thought it was as good as anybody in the draft not named Bijan Robinson or Gibbs, right? Mm-hmm. And obviously Rashawn Johnson's in that. You know, my man Myles Murphy, one of the top D linemen.
Yeah, do you think this factored into your ranking?
Well,
the guy from Clemson.
It did, right. So you knew about this?
Yeah, you were at the Combine.
Yeah.
This is your patented question, which you try to, I mean, you did the same thing when Connor was here. You're like kind of picking his brain on some things.
Right.
It's like you're trying to get a little head start on your note-taking. Like, what do other people see? And so you asked the edge guy from Clemson, you go, who'd you have a hard time tackling?
Who's your best? Yeah, who's the best player you played against this year? Or whatever. He went, Sean Tucker. And I was like, huh? I wanted to be like, who?
Yeah.
And he said Syracuse. I was like, oh, yeah, that little running back from Syracuse. I saw him this year.
Yeah.
You know? But, yeah, you know, I wrote that about halfway down my notes, so it wasn't biased to me. But as the film was confirming it, I was sitting there going, hey, now I know what this guy Myles Murphy said. This guy's so damn good.
Well, he should know, right?
He should know. He got a first-hand look at the damn guy, right? But he's natural in the pass game, right? So there's nothing like that. We talked about Michael Carter earlier from North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he's very similar to that, except he's stronger than Michael Carter. There's more of a power element than with this kid. So, you know, maybe not quite as quick as Michael Carter was, but I think stronger. So maybe a blend of Javonte Williams in there is what I'm talking about.
We finally get the one.
We finally got there.
Mashed them together. So he was not a big recruit out of high school, just a 3-star recruit, went to high school in Maryland, but then had a huge year in 2021. That really was his breakout season. Almost 1,500 rush yards. He broke Joe Morris's school record
He
there.
was a guy I thought about making that comparison to. I didn't think anybody on the podcast would know who that is. Does anybody? I would love to be able to ask that out there. Do you know who Joe Morris is?
In the comments right now, yes or no. You just have to say.
Do you know?
Give us one, yeah.
Do you know? I don't think you know
exactly.
who Joe Morris
He's
is.
got the
I think
school
you're
record,
stalling.
1979.
Right.
You know, it's like Joe Morris, Big Joe.
Big Joe.
They called him Joe Cool back in the day.
He was actually really little, and he was 5'7".
Yeah, that's what I meant. You know, it was more ironic. It was more an ironic.
You were going to know him, but you don't know you know him. He was my dad's running back.
Okay.
Number 20. Right? Joe Morris, tall little guy. I mean, he was muscle hamster, unbelievable legs, right? And that's what he was. He could kind of make you miss, but man, his acceleration and getting through the hole. And he was like this guy, probably 5'7", 210 pounds, 205, could squat like 600 pounds, right? Yeah. One of those type of guys. But there's your little Syracuse history lesson for you.
Okay? I knew that. I wrote in the comments that I knew that. The one knock on him, or maybe one of the bigger knocks, is that maybe, how were his hands? Is he good as a pass catcher? He dropped 10 of his 73 catchable targets, according to PFF.
He has drops, but it goes along the lines of like, there's receivers we watched in the draft where I go, okay, this guy, yeah, there's drops. There's not all drops are created equal, though. You know, like we said, there's the drops where like, hey, the ball's coming right at his face and the guy drops it. And you're like, how the do you drop that one? Or there's like, hey, you know, the ball's coming at his face, but the guy's like turned because he's worried about the defender and he's trying to like turn and make a move as he's catching it, right? There's differences there. I didn't come away looking like, oh, this guy really fights it. There was a few that I saw where, yeah, he's the best player on their team. He wants to make it happen. Yeah. So he's going, I'm about to catch a screen, and if I can make this guy miss, I'm going to run for a big play. Oh, I dropped it. You know, so he has a few of those. He has a few in the flat where he drops, where ball a little behind him, he can adjust. But I don't think this is going to be an issue for him. There's still plenty of others where you just see natural, and you go, okay, he's got no problem. He didn't fight that at all, and it seemed like it was nothing for him.
Very rare. A Syracuse guy in your top 5. I'm so pleased that
love
has
it.
happened.
Cuse, baby.
You got a Michigan guy as your number 2 corner. This has been a big year for the teams that I root for.
Damn, I'm kissing your ass too much here. Yo, thanks for watching, homies. It's the off season, but you know there's no off season for us here at Unbuttoned. Me, Ahmed Fareed, we're going to hit all the stories. So hit subscribe for us, okay? We got a ton coming up. My draft prospect rankings, my Simms top 40 quarterback countdown, and videos of me and NFL QBs playing catch and talking about their development and mechanics. Again, thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe. Peace out, homies. See you soon.